Hello, Sean Briscoe, CLSB Politics. Um, my video about Biden stepping down, I by far is the most views of anything I've done so far. I really appreciate that. I've gone through a bunch of the comments, and there's hundreds. I literally have never expected this kind of response. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing my channel. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I This is not what I expected, but I'm over the moon about the response. Um, it actually gives me a little bit of hope. So, I wanted to talk about people talking about becoming independent. Now, everyone knows how elections are, right? It's one Democrat, one vote, one Republican, and they counter each other off, and whoever has the most wins. Right? That's basically how an election runs. Okay. Now, there's a whole thing called participation math that a lot of consultants and data guys and anyone who does this work looks at. Okay, for example, if a Republican woman decides to vote Democrat, her vote technically isn't worth one vote. Okay? Not only was it a vote that the Republicans were counting on, so that's -1 to them, right? It's a vote we weren't counting on. So it's a +1 to us. But because it's also a -1 to them, it's technically a +2 to us. Because it's a Republican vote that was already in the mix. It was already part of the equation for the election. So when we talk about voting independent, whether it be Republicans or, and I have no problem with Republicans voting independent, don't get me wrong. They can do that all day. I'm all about that. Democrats voting independent, no. No mas. It's bad news. All you do is get Trumps. That's all you do. You get more Trump. You get more Republicans in office. You get fewer rights. You get corporations walking all over you. And I'm not saying the Democrats are immune to that, but it ain't even the same flavor. Okay? So when a Democrat that's a hardcore Democrat votes every 2 years or 4 years, and it's a presidential cycle, so we'll just look at the 4-year votes, right? That voter goes independent. It's a +1 for the Republican. And it's a -1 for the Democrat. Because we were counting on that vote. It was in our mix already. And it went independent, which is basically a null vote. And I know I'll get a lot of pushback from that, but do the math. Like, the best any independent candidate's ever done was Ross Perot. He got 14%. And he knocked out an incumbent Republican president, the first Bush. So, and he pulled out. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers that. He pulled out like 30 days before and then went back in. Can't talk, can't talk. Remember that guy? He's a character. Um, but yeah. So that was the last time anyone in that field actually did anything real. Now, there's a lot of margins and cuts, and the Green Party's done this and that and this and that. That's true, but no one's truly decided a race except for the people who vote independent and the ones who just don't vote. Those are the ones who always decide. Actually, I think I mentioned this in the previous video. The apathy party is 60% of the vote. Like, so, for example, in Texas, we get about 45% turnout, right? So 55% are just floating out there. And since we're usually like, neck and neck, like Beto lost by, 3%? Maybe a little bit less. That's nothing. In Texas, I mean, 350,000 votes is a suburb. It's like nothing. Um, so you can imagine if just 1% of that 55% decided to show up and vote. If 2% showed up out of the apathy party in Texas, there'd be no more Republican Party nationally. They'd be gutted. 2%. That's the math. So when people want to talk about voting independent and or just not voting at all, and I've got a very close friend of mine who is, I love him dearly. I don't know if he'll ever see this video, but he's like my brother from another mother, and he's been very active. He's run for office before. He's insanely upset right now about what happened to whom we affectionately refer to as Uncle Joe. So yeah, I get where the feelings are coming from. I understand where those feelings are coming from. Believe me. But if you don't vote, we're all going to lose. And that's the math. It's not complicated. 1 plus 1 does not equal fish. And for all those of you out in pain, I get it. I feel it. I was so angry yesterday. I turned the news off. I went and saw a movie with a friend of mine because he was also just done, just completely cooked. His brain was just fried. And so we went and saw a movie. We saw Twisters. That was good. I liked the first one a lot. So, and I'm a Texan, so tornadoes are kind of like our pets down here. So it was fun movie, very cute, and science, just like all the Twister movie, the first one, the science is all, but it's fun movie, and it was a nice little reprieve from the noise, and I mean, it took all my energy not to throw something at the TV this morning when Joe Manchin was on Morning Joe. I mean, and I'm a pretty mellow guy. I actually need to check with a few of my friends. They may have thrown some stuff at that TV today. It's totally possible. So, but anyway, I just want to let everyone know that if you're thinking about voting independent, please don't, because it's just bad math. And like I said from the very beginning, I'm a data guy. The Republicans feed off of that kind of energy. That's what they want to happen. Just like as much as I want their guys to vote independent or to come on over and be 2 votes for us, that would be awesome. But if you could just this cycle, we're gonna need you guys. We need everybody. It's everybody on board, and that's probably all I really have to say about that. So stay strong. This is where we're at. And this is CLSB Politics. All right. You have a good one.